Hey, this is Hansman. Welcome to my channel, and once again, we are now continuing our previous video. And this time, pretty much we need to fix one of the component, which is the student um, component that the Bootstrap grid system is not working at the moment. So what we're planning is this student form along with the student summary should be working along on a single row. So perhaps, of course, we need to fix one of the class, right? One of the class of our uh, column. Okay, so this is a class name. This would be a class name. Right, this is a class name. Oops. Equals to call. Okay, MD6, and similarly also will be on the bottom. Okay, so this will end our another div element there, class name again, and this would be a call. Okay, MD6. Okay, so if I save this one, of course you'll not be seeing here, so let me stretch this. There you go. So now the Bootstrap grid system is working on our student form, and basically, of course, if we resize it, it's coming down there, right? So there you go. At least we're seeing it in a 6 by 6 grid system. Okay, so this time what we're going to work now is basically for our useState. So what we're planning is, let's open up our document, right? So we're gonna be working with the useStates, and this part 2 of this exercise has been completed even since the last video, because this is all about using Bootstrap. And of course we have performed already this rendering of our Bootstrap grid through our wireframe, specifically on the app.js, along with of course with the expected output of a grid system as well, a Bootstrap grid on our student component. So this time, yeah, we had already fixed basically the cascaded style sheets styles.css, that we have implemented the banner img, camel case banner, capital IMG, that will implement on our banner.js. So we have used this class name banner img. So we're pretty much done on that, and we also have completed the student.js Bootstrap grid classes and designed the component as shown here in the screen, right? So the part 4 of our activity of this video is now intended for using the useState hook. So working with the useState hook is, of course, we need to import the useState from the React, and we could start it working on the student.js, because this is where most of our useState will be in the form itself. And eventually we will gonna be working with the on change, event handling, and on click on the button, right? So which means once that we work with the form elements assigned to those values inputted corresponds variables, of course we can see the output as well, right? So let's work on this one. Okay, let's start working on the student.js, right? So from our student.js, of course we will going to work with the useState, and we'll do some implementation of state declaration first, of course, right? So let me go on to the student.js, right? And we'll work on the useState declaration over here, right? And eventually later we're going to be working with our router once that we completed this part. Okay, alright, so let's start declaring it one by one, and probably this import React for this new latest version after version 18, we don't need to work on that one. So it's already been built for importing our React library. So let's start importing now our useState, and you're going to be using a useState, and will be in the React library. Okay, so we're good to this one now. So this time within the function, one of the requirement of our useState, it should be called and declared within the function of our component. So perhaps we can do a constant assignment here. Maybe we could start with the stud ID first. Constant okay, with a bracket here, with a couple of brackets there, and probably we can have an equal sign of our useState, right? And we'll have a default either an empty one or a 0 later. It depends if we're working with an integer, right? So constant stud ID here. Okay, we'll use the camel case stud ID, and then a set. Okay, set of what's set stud and camel case ID. All right, this would be our variable on the useState using the stud ID, particularly on one of our input type field, which is the text, particularly on the student ID, right? Once that we have set this one, of course, we're expecting to create here a form handling, of course, that will be working along. Let's probably make an onChange event handling here, and this would be in a parameter JavaScript, and we can use the E, which is an arrow function equivalent to our set stud ID. Okay, set stud. Okay, it's already there, right? It's on the top. And perhaps we need to target once again with the E dot your target, and of course the value dot value, right? Oops, okay, the value right there. So far this would complete our onChange parameter. So we can test this one, and probably we could also work on the output of the stud ID. Let's go at the bottom part of our student summary, and we have already done this one previous video, and I'll just use JavaScript, and then I'm going to use this stud ID camel case. Okay, so let's save this and let's see if it works. Let's say 41J. All right, it's working fine. 1 2 3, right? So we have pretty much done the first part of your student information useState. So we'll be working a lot still on the student name, email, until the computation later. We're going to be working on that one. So perhaps I'll be just copy pasting this, and let's just provide a stud name here. Maybe this one is a stud name, camel case, set stud name, camel case, right? So I'll be using this as well as a stud name. Okay, this would be a stud name, camel case, right? And we will be using a stud name as your display as well here, right? So it will be over here. So let's see. Oh, it has to be inside the open close curly brackets, right? So if I will write student name here, Omar, yeah, it's Omar Hassan. Yeah, it's working fine. So let's complete the rest of the useState variable declaration. So we'll come across with email. Stud email. Let's make this one fast. So probably I can write first all the variables. Email, okay, and let's go to department, of course. Stud depth. Okay, stud depth, set stud depth also. Okay. Okay, coursework, so this will gonna be a number, right? We'll just make it probably 0. Okay. Stud CW, okay, I'll just make it CW, and set stud CW, okay, let's make this one a 0. This will gonna be an integer later on, right? So from coursework till passing marks, will make it as a 0. So set passing, set mid marks. Okay, I'll just make mid, set stud mid, set stud mid. Another one is final. Alright, stud final, camel case, capital F for the second part, and set stud final. Right, this is a 0, and passing also, like stud pass, and set stud capital P pass, which is 0. Right, so let me just complete the rest of this. Stud ID, okay, on change handling, target value, stud name, this one would be stud email. Okay, email, right. And by the way, the class name that we have applied on a particular input type level are the form dash control that makes this rounded edge text boxes, right? So let's continue. Even the select should be also be having an on change, and this is all about depth. Set stud depth. The other one is for the coursework. Set stud CW, capital CW. This is case sensitive. You have to write it correct cases of this. This one is for mid. Set stud mid, capital M. Right, and this one final on change would be set stud final. And this one for the passing, okay, this one is set stud pass, okay, capital PASS. Right, so we'll do this one later, as a new handling event will going to be an on click for our type button, but perhaps, okay, let's complete this. Email, open in curly brackets, okay, stud email, right, stud email, right, it's already there. Oh no, stud email, right, it's there already, right, good. Okay, and JavaScript, this one is stud depth, right, it's already there. Okay, JavaScript, okay, closing and curly brackets. Okay, this is stud CW with capital C. This one is stud mark. Oh no, stud mid, I think. Yes, stud mid is there. And this one is stud final. Stud final. And lastly, okay, we don't have yet the total marks. This would be later on the display, right? Even the results. So let's save this one, and okay, so a 0 is coming there. If you wanted to have a default on our text, we can make a dash there, a dash here, so that you can see that the useState will on the text will going to be a dash, right? We have stud pass, which we did not use at the moment. Pass mark. Pass, okay, stud pass. set stud pass is correct. Okay, so we don't have a display for passing here. So let's see if it works. Let's say 41J123. Okay, this is Omar Hassan. Okay, this works properly now. And let's say Omar at gmail.com. Right, so suppose he is from engineering. Okay, good. Coursework example is 25. Okay, mid is, let's say, 15. Final is, say for example, is 35. Right, so okay, the passing, we haven't used this as for display, and we're going to be working with the condition here later using a ternary condition for this. Okay, so far pretty much more than halfway of our activity for this video has already been done. Only missing is, of course, we have to work with a new function. So we are now supposed to be working with a function. We're done with the onChange and displaying respectively each one of our state variables had been called upon on our display. And of course, part 5, we're going to be working with the event handling, particularly on working on the computeMark function for this. Okay, we will have this one. Actually, it's already here, but perhaps, of course, once again, once that we create a new function, it has to be inside our component. Of course, it has to be inside our components. Right, so let's work on that one, and the function should be written within our student, and it should be written over here, probably after this useState's declaration. Right, so let's work on that one, and the name of the function will going to be camel case computeMark. Okay, computeMark. So let's work on that one, and it should be before the return. Right, I'll make a constant here, constant, and camel case compute okay, mark. Right, so this will be an arrow function. Right, and there you go. I will make a parenthesis over here. Okay, we will going to set a variable. Okay, so this should be semicolon over here. We'll set a new variable. Okay, we'll set a new variable like a total. Total. So equals to, we'll use a function parse integer. Right, so we can apply, what do you call this? We can apply the integer value, and this is by adding the coursework. So the stud.cw, right? Stud CW, okay, with a capital, with a camel case, of course. Once again, parse. Okay, oops. Parse integer, parse int. Okay, will be adding it from the stud mid based on the variable assigned there in our useState. And I think one more, we're going to add parse again with an integer, and this would be stud final. Right, it's there. Right, so I think this would be fine now. Okay, would be, this is a semicolon. Oops, I put it the semicolon over there. Let's save this. But of course, it has to be use this total as a new variable later on. Of course, we're going to use a new variable for the total. Maybe I'll make a constant once again here. Constant with the name of oops, wait, let's say we'll make it the total mark. Stud total. Okay, set stud total. Okay, so we'll have a useState which is equals to 0 for the meantime by default. right? But we will going to use this stud is variable now in our useState stud. Okay, total, okay, going to be our total variable within the within the function of our computeMark, right? And of course, we can do this one now. Okay, wait. By displaying our output, but before that, it has to be given event handling on our button, just like this one. It has to be done compute total mark within the on-click handling of our button, and this function will be the compute mark, right? So we will be doing like this one. So we need to put the on-click event here on our button, on click, and equals to okay, with the JavaScript, that is compute capital M. Okay, so I think we are good for this. Only what we need to do is to display our output, which is the subtotal. Yeah, subtotal. Okay, this is the subtotal, and we will display it in the total marks here. So this would be a display here, but it has to be in the bracket, of course. This is a JavaScript as well, right? So hopefully, if I will just enter for the meantime here, let's say 30, 20, and 50. If I compute this one, oops, so we have some error here. So subtotal is not a function. Okay, subtotal is not a function. Okay, I think I have used a subtotal here, the total marks, and it has to be displayed. Okay, this is the output supposedly, right? So the output on our button is basically working on the compute mark. So let's see what's our mistake here. So it seems that it should be set. Okay, I think it has to be set. Okay, so I should have used set. Okay, from my function here, subtotal. So it has to be subtotal, right? This one, and this must be, because this is a useState, right? Save it. Let's try it once again. Compute the mark, and there you go. It's getting 100 now, right? So we are almost pretty much done now, only except we haven't done yet a condition using a ternary, that if it's more than or equal to the passing mark, it has to be mentioned the result is either pass or fail. So perhaps, of course, we will put that one within the computeMark function, and we will create a new let's say a total. This is stud total, no? So stud, okay, stud total. Stud total is greater than or equal to pass integer of our pass stud pass. There, this is the passing. So which means it has to be closed in parentheses, right? And using a ternary, question mark will going to be there, and we're going to set the result. Okay, we don't have yet that result. We will create a constant state variable for our result, and we will name that one as stud result, and set stud capital R result. Okay, and this will be a text or character, a useState, right? This would be probably making an empty one, right? Okay, basically now we will going to use the set result. This is a set result. Okay, and it has to be displayed pass. The first condition should be satisfied, is become true. Otherwise, we have colon. Okay, this will be failed. I will just copy this one then and make it failed. Right. So this must be semicolon. Right, there you go. So which means our subtotal, if is it not greater than or equal to the passing that we have recorded there, and the true condition will come here at pass and sets to the result. Okay, one thing here is not appearing. Of course, the stud result should be, okay, let me copy this. The stud result must be displayed on our student summary, and we have it already done it here. Let's enclose this one in a curly bracket and stud result. Let's save this. Okay, let's do it once again. Say, for example, of course, let's say out of 30, this is 20. Out of 20, example, we got 15. Out of 50, example, got 25. Passing marks is 67. So if I compute the total marks, it would be 60, and it's failed. But I believe if I change this one to 60, it will be now pass. Right, so pretty much our use state now is working. J123, let's say Omar Hassan. Right, so Omar at gmail.com. Right, and there you go. Oh, departments, say for example for engineering. So there you go. If I will push this one into probably 15 more, let's say 35, and let's compute the mark, so it's still pass. Say students got only about 14 marks. The passing is 60, but he's getting only 49. Oh, 1 minute. Should be failed right there. When we click the compute total marks, of course it's invoking our on click event, and then of course it's executing our function that we just written over our const compute mark, so within our student components. So there you go. So we'll see you once again to the next video, and what we are going to do is we're going to be working on the router React DOM. So bye bye for now. See you to the next video.